I'm going to stitch Walt Way's video on this whole thing
Oh.
dealing with this young lady
Oh.
being found, Carlee.
Oh.
History freaking repeats itself, y'all.
Oh.
The same way that they did Emmett Till.
Who's Emmett? But y'all want to watch Carlee Russell plead guilty? Because this was 5 hours ago. I haven't watched it. I took a screenshot of her like, I took a screenshot of that and I enjoyed that. But now I want to watch it all play out and see what she said, because
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be
you just got to hear a woman out in her quote unquote time of need, if that's the word you would call it.
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You are Carlethia Russell.
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you a document titled Explanation of Rights. Did you go over this document with your lawyers?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature on the last page?
Yes, sir.
Do you have
Yes,
any
sir.
questions about this document or about your rights?
No, sir. I don't know why I'm answering like I fucking seen this shit play out.
All right then, and there is no plea agreement here. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Ha! So anybody who says she took a plea deal,
In C-
there was a part of me that wanted her to just be like, not guilty, I didn't do it. But thankfully somebody smartened her the fuck up. I'm so
I'm
glad.
showing you Court's Exhibit B. Did you go over this document with her?
I feel sorry for the child that was never found. You're sick.
Yes, sir.
You're
Is that the
sick.
signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied that your attorneys, Mr. Henry Anthony, Richard Jaffe, and Lucky Milad,
Yes, sir.
are good and competent attorneys and have represented you well?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the plea agreements in these cases?
Yes, sir.
You're pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone forced you or coerced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, sir.
I promised her Cheez-Its, Judge. She's lying.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Yes, sir.
All right, at this time, before we proceed, well, I find that your plea was made knowingly and voluntarily, and based on your plea, I find you guilty. Before sentencing, first, is there anything that the Attorney General's office would like to add?
Yes, Your Honor, if you don't mind. As the court is aware, I have asked to speak today, and I have a lot to say, but the court has asked me to limit it to 2 minutes, and so I will do that. First of all, this case has always been about respect for law enforcement and respect for this community.
Yes!
Ms. Russell faked a kidnapping.
Yes!
Duped the community.
Yes!
And contrived this situation. We
Yes!
still, Judge, don't know to this day where she was, how she got there, what she was doing, with whom she was doing it with.
I believe, and this is just my conspiracy theory. I admit it's a conspiracy theory. I have nothing to back this up, so don't hound me for what I'm about to say. I believe she was jerking it in the woods. I'll just say, you can't tell me somebody was just disappearing for 2 days and had a bus pass to Nashville but didn't leave the area. You can't tell me she wasn't just rubbing one out with some Cheez-Its. And I know I make that reference. It's not the first time I've made that reference, and a bunch of people got mad at me for that. But understand, I don't really care, because fuck this bitch for wasting everybody fucking time and getting everybody in an uproar. Like, so if you're mad at me for that, fuck you and fuck her. Not this lady, but the lady who faked being kidnapped.
She, once we figured out that she was supposedly missing, the community got involved. Hundreds of people got involved. They took time
Yes.
away from their families, their work, their fun. Law enforcement got involved. From
Yes.
state to local. And they took time away from their family, their people, their work, other cases that needed to be solved.
Yes!
This has been a case that it was taken advantage of, and it's our contention that Ms. Russell knew this would happen. She had researched it on the computer. She had researched
Yes.
search terms about
Yes.
Amber alerts and the
Who is this white woman? Does she want my white privilege card? Because I swear, if she loses her white privilege, she could cash it in with my white privilege card.
be taken, all of those things. And then, Judge, when she came home, we have ring camera footage of her walking casually down her parents' street, and when she gets in front of her parents' house, she runs up there and starts beating on the door. Police were called, the body cams show that she's flailing around and still...
Don't cry, baby. Don't cry. You're a strong, independent woman who lied to a bunch of people in her community and neighborhood. You are the talk of the neighborhood. Every time people in your neighborhood see you, they gonna do the little whisper about who you are, because that's how neighbors do, because they're all a bunch of candy little bitches who like to gossip about everybody, but get mad when you gossip about them. Don't cry. Don't cry.
Perpetuating this ruse that she was kidnapped. The ambulance was called. She goes to the hospital and she finally speaks with law enforcement, and that's when she tells the story about the orange-haired man
Ooh.
and woman playing with her hair and eating Cheez-Its. This
Oh.
ruse continues.
Oh,
And it doesn't stop until a couple of days later when her lawyer issues a statement.
And what a powerful statement it was.
So I have to say, Judge, that because of this ongoing, complete disrespect
Oh,
of this community.
she crying. Now I'm starting to feel bad. My heart. Because I've gotten older and I've got more sympathetic. But then I remember she faked being kidnapped and disappeared and had everybody panicking over nothing. So it's like, it's probably not tears of trying to play the audience. It's the tears of realization.
As well as law enforcement, it is our contention that she should get some jail time. I understand that it's a misdemeanor. I do. But because of the effect that it has had on law enforcement as well as on the community, we feel even if it's weekends in jail or nights in jail, that some sort of incarceration is warranted in this case. I think I kept it under 2 minutes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Morris. All right, is there anything from the defense attorneys?
No, sir. Judge, what we're going to do is I'll let Ms. Russell make a statement.
Okay, Ms. Russell, before being sentenced, you do have a right to make a statement. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, sir.
Oh, here we go. What you got to say, baby? Let us know.
I want to genuinely apologize for my actions
Oh.
and the resulting negative impact inflicted onto others.
Oh.
I made a grave mistake
Ooh.
while trying to fight through various emotional issues and stress. I am extremely remorseful for the panic, fear, and various range of negative emotions that were experienced across the nation.
Oh.
I want to specifically acknowledge and take accountability for the pain and embarrassment that I inflicted upon my family, my church family, friends, neighbors, community, and all of those who were directly involved in search efforts for me.
Ooh.
I also...
You sniffling, but I noticed I don't see no tears. Where are your tears, madam? You doing all that sniffing, you doing the pouting. I see it all, but I'm not seeing no tears.
extend my sincerest apologies to the Hoover Police Department and every other law enforcement agency and personnel for the position that I put them in and for the resources used. I absolutely regret my decision and in hindsight wish that I had cried for help in a totally different manner. My prayer is that I will be extended grace and given the opportunity to redeem who I truly am and restore the positively esteemed character that I have worked so hard to attain for the 25 years of my life.
And those 25 years went straight down the toilet for reasons we still don't know.
Prior to this incident, I wholeheartedly can say that I've never had any malicious intent to hurt anyone. And I pray that
Hold on. Just go ahead, baby.
you will feel my sincerity and that as I prepare to pick up the pieces and go on to restore my life, that you will witness the fruition of grace.
Oh.
But we're not going to say
Oh, it's over.
And you're going to pay for that. You're going
Yes.
to pay every dime of that in restitution in this case.
Ooh.
It would be a waste of government resources to have a trial in this case. So
Oh.
we're taking responsibility and we're not going to do that. It would be a waste of government resources to put you in jail. One of the most expensive things the government does is incarcerate people. And we need to reserve our jails for people who are genuinely a threat to the community. Although we're very upset about what you've done, you're not a threat to the community. I'm not going to treat you any differently than I would treat any other first-time, nonviolent misdemeanor offender. Accordingly, it is the judgment and sentence of this court that you're sentenced in each of these cases to 6 months in the county jail. These sentences are consecutive with each other, and these sentences are suspended. You're placed on probation for 12 months, supervised probation. It's a condition of your probation that you pay full amount of restitution, which is $17,974.80.
Ooh, God, that's a lot of money.
Now, I know y'all about to be so mad at me, but I don't care. I'm glad they didn't lock my good sis up. Okay, she did not deserve to be behind bars. Y'all not gonna convince me that that man did not drive her crazy enough to do something like this, okay? This is the same man that went and threw a party in her name after they found out she ain't really get kidnapped for clout. Okay? Y'all not gonna convince me. And I know what y'all gonna say. Oh, she deserved jail time because why would she do something so crazy? You know, there's all these things going on around the world. Y'all not gonna sit here and act like y'all ain't do something delusional over somebody at some point in your life that could have possibly been illegal. Okay? I'm not buying it. Now, I'm not a fan of nobody lying. But I'm also not a fan of somebody making you have to act so delusional that you'll do something extreme. And before y'all do too much, I know y'all was just sitting outside of somebody's house yesterday trying to see if they was really at home. Not too much.
I think this tweet brings up a lot of people's opinions especially in this chat, about this entire thing. They would never say this to a black man. She wasted thousands in resources. Real victims were put on hold trying to find this hyena. This is why women continue to lie and get away with it, because women get favor in the court. We cannot let Rhoda Osmond, Brick Lady, get a light sentence like this. This is why I go so hard. She should have received jail time. Now, would you be fine with jail time? And if so, how long do you think she should be in jail? Brick Lady and Carlee Russell, two different scenarios. One, faked being kidnapped. The other, pretended she got assaulted by a stranger and had the bumps and bruises to go to the hospital and dictate that story. But as it came out months later, that was a crock of horse shit. So those two things really are the same. I do get the sentiment, and arguably, if I'm picking which one gets a harsher sentence out of Carlee or Brick Lady got to get a harsher sentence.